Conservative media viewers, what's going on? It's me, John D. Villarreal, the four-time national champion and the NFL expert. Let's talk about this whole countdown to the NFL playoffs. Let's talk about the NFC East. I want to focus on it because now we have three teams at this point that have the same record and therefore I think are in the hunt for who's going to win the NFC East. We're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. We're talking about the Washington Redskins, in my personal opinion, one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now, and RG3. Although RG3 didn't play today and there was that injury, we'll talk about that too. We're talking about the defending Super Bowl champions, the New York Giants. What's going on? Victor Cruz, Eli Manning, the whole, that defense, everything. Okay. Look, there's so much that can be said about this, about where the team's at. Who's got the momentum, who's winning. Well, let's just start with that. The Giants, they haven't looked as strong lately, okay? This was a huge, in my personal opinion, humiliating loss to the Atlanta Falcons today. Now, granted, the Atlanta Falcons are an extremely good team. Maybe some people haven't given them respect, but you know what? In my personal opinion, that record gives them the respect. And they really served notice today with that just destruction of the New York Giants. Okay? So, I think that when you're facing that kind of elite team, in my opinion, first of all, in my personal opinion, only not alleging facts, not casting any aspersions, all for entertainment purpose only. Please check the disclaimers. That's, in my personal opinion, understandable. So I'm not too worried about that kind of loss if I'm a New York Giants fan, but I'm concerned about where the record is. I'm concerned about the synchronicity, in my personal opinion, of this team, of different pieces coming together. In this case, in my opinion, maybe not coming together at the right time. And more importantly, I'm worried about the divisional record and the schedule. I'll deal with that in a second. Now, Dallas, tremendous offensive weapons, okay? And it's starting to come together now. I mean, Dallas, in my opinion, as a Dallas fan, I've felt, in my opinion, that Dallas has had tremendous talent. But I don't feel like they've really put together to the fullest extent and have the kind of success that I felt like they should have been able to have with the talent on that roster. Now, it's, some things are starting to come together. I don't want to get my hopes up too much yet. But there's some encouraging signs now, so we'll see. Can Tony Romo, can Witten, can Des Bryant, can Jason Garrett, can that team bring it together, DeMarco Murray and the defense, Ware, Spencer, the rest, to, get into the playoff, win the NFC East, get into the playoffs, and hopefully get some wins in the playoffs. We'll have to find out. Washington's been on a 5-game win streak. RG3 has just been on fire, in my personal opinion. Tremendous, accuracy, tremendous arm, tremendous play fake, play action type of stuff, but tremendous running ability and stuff like that. But RG3 got hurt. He was out. Backup comes in. Backup wins. A lot of things are going right in Washington, including a spectacular, in my opinion, running game, okay, with Morris and stuff like that. So there's a lot to like about, and tremendous run defense, a lot to like about what's going on in Washington. And really, on paper, in my opinion, Washington's a team that if I was to pick one of these teams that I'd rather be Washington right now because of the wins over the rest of the division and, frankly, the schedule, okay? So now let's turn to that. Schedule. I think the hardest remaining schedule right here is the New York Giants in this respect. They play the Baltimore Ravens next, and the Baltimore Ravens just lost today, and I think that, the Baltimore Ravens are going to be looking, to get a win next week, and that's just going to be a tough, physical game, and we understand the kind of power that the Baltimore Ravens and intensity bring on defense. And Joe Flacco and that offense, they're rolling as well. So I feel like the Baltimore Ravens are going to be looking for a big win next week. And I feel like the Giants, are going to have some trouble with that. And I think that no matter who wins, it's going to, have it's going to be a very intense physical game that may, have the Giants, not feeling their best perhaps the week after that when they face Philly. Now, the Philly game, I mean, look, Philly is just, in my personal opinion, collapsing as a team. And I think you look at the schedule and say, okay, the New York Giants should be able to win that game. But here's the issue with that. The issue with that is a couple things. Number one, Giants, if they lose to Baltimore, which I think they have a good chance to lose to Baltimore, then they're in a situation where it almost doesn't matter, right? Because they're going to, depends on how it all works. It depends on how it works out. But they could be in a situation where they're in a no-win situation going into that final week. Because if Washington wins, is going to win the tiebreakers, if you will. And if Washington wins, it doesn't matter. Giants can't win the NFC East, and they could be in the same situation with the Cowboys. Even though they split those Cowboys wins there, Cowboys have a better divisional record, and if they beat Washington in that final game, that even more so. So I think that becomes problematic for the Giants right there. Now let's talk about the Cowboys. Cowboys face New Orleans. Could be a difficult test, but I don't feel like New Orleans has been playing that great lately. Sure, they beat Tampa Bay, but who has Tampa Bay beat lately? That's what I'm talking about. I feel like, New Orleans, they don't, tremendous passing attack from Drew Brees, but that's kind of about it, you know what I mean? I'm not really worried about their running attack too much, and their defense, forget it. And I feel like with the offensive firepower that Dallas is showing right now, and obviously, having enough defense, particularly on the pass defense, I like that matchup. I like Dallas to win that. And then if Dallas wins against New Orleans, now they're set up, go in there and face Washington, win against Washington. Dallas is in control of their own destiny. They win these next two games, boom. Dallas is ready to go. They're going to the playoffs by winning the NFC East, in my opinion. Now, and look, we don't know. Is RG3 going to be back? How's he going to be? Kirk Cousins, he did great today. Can you do that against Dallas? Can you do that when everything's on the line? Will the pressure, get you? Washington faces Philadelphia. I think that's an easy game to win, okay? No matter who's quarterback there. And then they have to face Dallas. And I really feel like it's just going to come down to this last week. That's what I think. That's my prediction. My prediction is it's going to come down to this last week. Washington or Dallas, who's going to win the NFC East? I feel like it's going to come down to one of those two teams. What do you think about that? Agree or disagree with this? And it just, to me, okay, wow, it's a tough one. But I think if RG3 is back and he's healthy, I'm going to give a little bit of an edge to Washington. But you know what? For whatever reason, a variety of reasons, if I had to pick who's going to win the NFC East right now, I feel like it's going to be Dallas. I feel like they have the experience. I feel like they have the range of weapons. I feel like they're a little bit more balanced than these other teams, and therefore I think that they're going to be more versatile depending on any given situation or matchup. So I like the way Dallas is putting some things together. I think there's some confidence there. I don't think, but none of these teams, that's why it's close right now. None of these teams are blowing me away to the extent. I think they all have a great potential, and we've seen before. Whoever wins the NFC East is definitely, can be live in the playoffs, particularly if your name's the New York Giants, okay? But I definitely feel like all these teams have potential. All of them have challenges. And it's interesting to see this sort of coalesce. But I think that the teams with the momentum, Washington or Dallas, I think it's one of those two teams that are going to go ahead and win this NFC East and get to the playoffs. What do you think about that? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Where are you at? Give me the comments below. Please subscribe above. I'm John D. Villarreal, the 4-time national champion and the NFL expert. You're watching Conservative New Media. Please rate this video up. Also, please post it on your social networking sites. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.